Rubio on the floor. Go ahead.
Here's Quin Snyder after the win on the Utah side.
What Coach Pop has meant to us, and just want to offer our condolences for his loss. And
Coach Michael Kenny, UConn Review. They go on a 19-0 run there in the third, but y'all were able to respond. What was the key?
Well, I think as much as anything, I think our team stayed together. And there was a timeout when there was just a determination, and I think we felt like we just needed to rely on our defense, and that's what we did. Donovan obviously, his aggressiveness on the offensive end, fueled us there, and that the combination of those two things, I think, the determination on defense, I think, was a function of that run. And we were really stagnant offensively. The ball wasn't moving; it was sticking. When we do that, we have to defend.
Coach Rod Zundel, KSL, you talk about your defense and determination on defense, but holding the big three to only 2 points in the fourth quarter, that's incredible.
Well, that's I think that we've said the strength of our team is our team, and obviously we had some really good individual performances defensively, but you don't. That doesn't happen unless collectively you're connected and you're defending as a unit. So, obviously those guys, Carmelo had a stretch in the first half and early second where he was really hard to guard. They can do that. And game one, was a different story. And, sometimes you can play as well defensively as you can, and those guys are so talented that they're going to score anyway. And tonight we were fortunate that some of the shots that they were hitting in game one or earlier, weren't going in, and we were getting the rebound.
Coach, Brady Trantham, Thunder Digest. Steven Adams picks up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, goes out about the 6:40 mark, and then is out of the game for 11 minutes, and then Derek Favors is able to pretty much feast on the offensive glass. Do you feel like that was an emphasis going into game 2 that you guys didn't have in game 1?
Well, Rudy was in foul trouble too, so that those things happen in the game, and Jay Crowder picked up 3 fouls in the first half. So I think regardless of who's on the floor, we have to defend. Rudy obviously anchors us, and I thought we felt like Derek offensively was really good in game 1, and he was really good on the offensive glass, especially during that stretch. And a couple times he had it, and he was going up strong. He was just relentless.
Coach, can you talk about what Ricky meant to you tonight, especially spacing the floor and just general overall effectiveness running the offense?
Ricky's really, really competitive, and I think the first game he didn't feel like he played as well as he can. And I remember sitting by him yesterday. He was watching film with Igor and just digging in on, not just offensively but defensively as well. And he did a great job, especially early in the game. Finding people on the floor and getting everybody involved, and particularly in pick and roll, just making reads that we didn't make in the first game. And when he does that, he starts a chain on our offense that we need. We're going to have to move it, and guys are going to have to drive it and kick it and share it for us to generate shots. And our guys know that, and they have to be committed to that.
Did you feel that Donovan was conserving energy at all, or was there any way you felt his play was affected by his injury?
It certainly wasn't apparent. I think, if he was feeling something, he didn't show it, and he played through it. As I said, I think the thing about Donovan's game is he just continued to attack. And I thought when he really got aggressive going to the rim, some other things open up. I don't know what he was from 3, but during that stretch when we were getting stops, he was really aggressive attacking the basket, and that's what we need to do. If we get stops, we have to try to take advantage and convert. We haven't been a great conversion team all year, and that's something we talk about and work on. But Donovan converted.
Coach, do you consider it somewhat of a luxury that you can have seconds in the game where Derek was great early, Ricky in the middle, Donovan at the end? Is that kind of a luxury you got to have?
I wouldn't call it a luxury as much as an identity. You know, I don't think any one of those guys, you know, they all need each other and they all know that. So if one guy's, you know, making plays, I think sometimes we see the guy that's scoring, and with our group, there's usually a couple people that have done something previously, you know, to generate an opportunity, and we stay committed to that. It's not easy because, you know, everybody's got to be unselfish and be willing to attack on their teammate for their teammate, and you know that's been the balance we've had this year, and I think our guys identify with it. Okay.
Oh. Just Rudy making those free throws. He struggled in the last couple games.
Mm-hmm.
What would you feel when you saw him step to the line?
I was glad he got to the line, you know, because either meant he went strong to the basket and got fouled, or he got a defensive rebound. And you know, Rudy believes in himself. We believe in him. You know, it wasn't long ago that, you know, people were fouling him at the end of the game to put him on the line, and he's probably upset right now that he didn't make more of them. I think, you know, when he gets it down there, and we come away with one of two or whatever. I mean, he takes great pride in that. He works on it, and I think our whole team, you know, has confidence in him when he steps to the line.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Quin Snyder obviously very happy talking about his team, discussing some of what we've talked about, not only the work from Favors, but also talking about Donovan Mitchell, and where a lot of it is positive as we wait to hear from Billy Donovan. You think of the negative. I've been staring at this card the whole time. It doesn't have the lotto numbers, people. Don't get excited. But it says the big three, 0 for 14 with 2 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, you think about those names. I mean, look, Mr. First Team, I don't care who's defending any of it. You cannot tell me that somebody's not open when you got three of those guys.
Exactly. I think going over 14 down the stretch, it was just a matter of them picking who going to take over the game at this point. I think they were a little indecisive, and then as the game went on, I think, okay, yeah, let's do it. I mean,
Here's Billy Donovan.
You know, I was fortunate enough to go to San Antonio, and I had a chance to spend a lot of time with Pop, actually 3 days, and you know, couldn't have been any more gracious to me when I was in college, and you know, welcomed me with open arms, took me to dinner, spent a lot of time with him, and then coming here to OKC, he's always reached out to me, and obviously I was really upset to hear about the passing of his wife, and you know, my thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and I just wanted to say that before this started about the game, because I was really moved by it when I found the news out after the game was over with, and I really feel bad for him and his family, and my prayers and thoughts are with them. The game, I thought the first half, a couple things. I thought we turned the ball over too much in the first half. I think we had 9 turnovers. The offensive rebounding really was a factor. I thought there was significant runs in the game in the second half by both teams. You know, we kind of dug ourselves out of a 9-point hole and took a pretty substantial lead, and give them credit, they kind of came charging back. Certainly the second half, I thought the free throw line was a factor. You know, we had some opportunities to score. We just didn't score enough in that fourth quarter. So, you know, we'll have to, you know, go back and look at the tape and get prepared and ready to move on and go to Utah.
Coach, Michael Kinney, UConn Review. At the end, those last 2-3 possessions, did you get the shots that you wanted?
We had, I thought we had some good shots. I did not think that, you know, I think the entire game we could have executed better. I thought the first half we got stagnant offensively. Some of that had to do with the turnovers. We were never in a rhythm or a flow. There was no momentum. There was no flow we had. I thought in the third quarter we really played exceptionally well. I thought we moved the ball, did some really good things in the second half. And then even when we got downhill and got to the rim, we just couldn't make enough plays. But I thought for the most part, the guys in the second half generated a lot better shots than we did in the first half.
Hey, Billy, Donovan Mitchell obviously really effective early in the fourth quarter, but Corey had been really good on him. Did you think at all about possibly trying to get Corey back on him earlier, maybe slow him down a little bit?
You know, Corey did a good job, but we had kind of changed some coverages, and we were getting hurt on the glass. I think having Jeremy in there was a reason just to try to secure some of the rebounding, because I thought, in that first half, the way Favors was rebounding and Gobert was rebounding, it was a problem for us, and the reason why they had the lead at the half. And with what we were doing defensively, we were going to be in some positions where we were going to have some guards on some bigs, and we needed to do a better job rebounding than we did in the first half. And I thought Jeremy played a very, very good game. I thought he gave us some good minutes there. Obviously came back with Corey when Steven fouled out. But, again, with the way we were playing defense and the things that we were doing, I didn't think the defense was that major of a problem. He was 10 for 25. It's not like he shot a really high percentage. He made some great shots coming down the stretch, but I thought we put him to the free throw line too much. And then for us, we couldn't score. We scored 16 points in the fourth quarter. That was a challenge for us as well.
Coach, Billy, Steven Adams seemed kind of bothered by his wrist. Do you feel that kind of played into him picking up 2 quick fouls and just kind of having kind of a bad night during the game, or was it just simply one of those nights?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with his wrist or him. I mean, I think he's fine. I thought it was very difficult for him tonight. He was in foul trouble. He picked up 2 fouls pretty quickly in the first quarter. We had to get him back, and then he went back in there in the second quarter. I got him off at the end of the second because I didn't want him to pick up his third. He picked up 2 pretty quick fouls in the third quarter, and they kind of came back in the fourth. And I don't think Steven was ever able to get into a flow or a rhythm for himself because he was battling foul trouble. And probably, Gobert probably went through the same thing in game one.
And with Russell in transition, it seemed like the Jazz really made an effort to do Euro fouls. Did you feel like that had any
to do what's that now?
Euro fouls?
What is that?
Fouling him in transition. Oh. Did you feel like that had any influence on Russell's rhythm tonight?
No. I think sometimes when you do that, it moves you closer to the bonus. I think most NBA teams, most NBA players do that. When there's a disadvantage for the defense and they don't want to give up a layup or an open shot, they'll do that. So I don't think it broke Russell's rhythm at all.
Fred Katz, Norman transcript. Billy, did you feel like any of the fourth quarter offensive struggles? I mean, I know often you guys only have 3 or fewer shooters on the floor. Do you feel like any of the offensive struggles just came from the fact that they weren't necessarily guarding the perimeter on some of the below-average three-point shooters out there?
I'm sorry.
Did you feel like any of the offensive struggles in the fourth quarter came from the fact that the Jazz were helping pretty hard off of the three-point shooters, or was it just a case of missing shots?
No, I mean, listen, Jeremy had a wide-open 3 from the corner. I thought Paul got downhill one time. He had a great opportunity to finish. There were some plays. Patrick had a couple of shots around the basket, early in the quarter. We didn't finish. Ray missed a 3, made a 3. Russell had a couple pull-ups that I thought were wide open that were really, really good looks. I thought Melo got a couple good threes. So I think our main guys got pretty good looks, and I thought we moved the ball to the open man. I thought we even had times when we rolled to the basket and we had a presence at the basket, we had a hard time finishing there as well. We just didn't score enough points.
2 more.
Billy, I just kind of want to clarify. Is there nothing wrong with Steven's wrist specifically, or just no injury at all with him in his right arm, shoulder, anything?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, again, when the one thing I would say about our guys that I respect is that when those guys go on the floor and play, whatever ailments they're having or dealing with, they're certainly cleared to play. I think this time of year probably nobody feels great, but there was nothing that I'm aware of that's limiting Steven. I'm sure as much as he puts his body in play and as physical as he is as a player and the way he sacrifices his body for the team, I'm sure there's probably different things that he could be dealing with. But there was nothing that was mentioned to me that said, hey, listen, take him out. He's limited. I don't know if he can play. There was nothing like that.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Russell will be next.
Billy Donovan and OKC headed to Utah. We head to Cleveland. Check out another big night for LeBron. We come back here on Game Time.